Hey guys, and welcome back to Misha's Corner. Today I'm going to show you how to make this rice recipe. During the holiday season, a lot of people, they make dirty rice or some sort or something like that. But this is another idea that I wanted to share with you guys. All right, so this recipe starts with bacon. If you're not into pork or full-fat bacon, use the bacon you prefer. I'm going to cook this down with some butter. Remember, all ingredient measurements will be in my description box, so make sure you guys check that out. My bacon was still kind of frozen. I chopped it up frozen, honey. That's why they're sticking together. But here we are. We're making it work. But I'm going to get this nice and crispy, and then I'm going to remove it. So this is what it looks like, nice and crispy. It ain't burnt. You need to get it crispy, by the way, because it is going in the rice. You want it to stay crispy, okay? By the way, I got this bacon from the Aldi grocery store, and I think everything in this video actually, except for one ingredient, was bought somewhere else. But everything came from the Aldi grocery store, in case anyone's asking or want to know where I got it from. And so I'm going to remove the bacon, and then I'm going to add the shrimp. Yes, the shrimp ain't seasoned, honey. Ain't no lick of seasoning up there. But we are going to season it. I didn't remove any of the fat, by the way. I kept it all because, again, we are making rice. So now I'm going to season this up, and I'm going to be using the McCormick seasoning, salt, and red pepper flakes. I did not use a lot of powdered seasoning in this recipe because there's a lot of freshness going on, as you will see, as the video goes along. So once I get the shrimp nice and tossed around into the seasoning, now I'm going to add some garlic down in here. Essentially, I'm making, garlic butter shrimp, but, It's the fact that every year I make some type of seafood dish or recipe, and I'm completely allergic to all shellfish. I just be living on the edge. I don't know what be going on with me. I finished this off with some lime juice, and I'm also going to remove this from the skillet, but this is what the shrimp looks like. It's perfectly cooked. I used the frozen shrimp from the Aldi grocery store, melted down, and that's what that is. Once I removed that, I added my veggies. I have tomatoes, peppers, onions. And now I'm just going to cook this down in the same exact seasonings as well. I season every single step because, number one, I can't taste the food. I have been cooking for a very, very long time, my whole life actually. So I kind of, know my way around seasoning food without tasting it, especially seafood. But yeah, I season every step, and used a low sodium seasoning, and so I could be able to manage the salt and do it myself. That's how I work my way around that. So now I'm going to cook these vegetables down for about 5 minutes. Next, I'm going to add the washed rice down in here on top of the veggies to get it nice and coated with the peppers, the onions, the tomatoes, the seasoning, the butter, the bacon fat, all that. Everybody's down in here. Everybody's chilling, okay? You want to get every single kernel nice and coated and good to go. First of all, we didn't even get to the tea yet, and my house smells amazing. Like, I'm not even kidding. Y'all already know I don't put nothing up here if it didn't work out. If you like rice, you want to make something different for your table, I think you should try this recipe. You can move it around, switch up the ingredients and things like that. This is the garlic crunch oil. I decided to add it in there to give it a lift. This is why I was saying I didn't add a lot of seasoning, because there's a lot of other types of seasoning and freshness going down in here. So once I get that mixed in, I added my fire roasted tomatoes, the entire can. And now I'm going to mix this up. Look how pretty this looks. It don't even have everything in it yet. Again, make sure you check out my description box so that you can get the recipe if you want it. I'm most definitely probably going to make this again and use chicken or some type of other protein. Next, I'm going to add my chicken broth down in here, just enough to cover over the rice. Or, if you read the package on your rice, let's say it's a cup. Use a cup of rice, 2 cups of broth. 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of broth, or 3.5. But like I said, I'll have the exact measurements in my description box. So once I get that nice and mixed in, you see how pretty this looks. All right, so now I'm gonna add the bacon down in here. I did reserve a couple pieces to add to the final plate, but add all your bacon down in there if that's what you prefer. You know, it's really not gonna matter. So once I get this mixed up, I'm gonna cover it and allow it to cook until the rice is nice and tender. Mine took about 20 minutes, and you know, I'll show you guys what that looks like. I keep getting ahead of myself. You know, I think it's because I made this recipe and I know what's gonna happen next, but yeah. So after 20 minutes, I'm gonna take the lid off. And this is what the rice looks like, you guys. It's a little out of focus. It'll be okay. There we go. This is what it looks like. It's about 98% done, I feel like. And then I added some cilantro. I'm gonna finish this off with some lime juice. This was just so delicious and fresh. It's just gonna lift it all the way up. Don't leave it out. And now I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of butter. This is rice, like I said. It dries out while cooking. You have to, you know, give it that zhuzh. You gotta get into it, okay? Then I'm gonna add all that garlicky, buttery shrimp right on top of the rice. And then you're going to just mix everything up. I'm using a fork because I feel like a spoon is just gonna make things all muddled looking. So I'm using a fork to fluff everything up and mix everything up. Y'all, look at this rice, bro. I had to make this again with chicken or something. This rice, like, I can't even deal. It just looks amazing. And imagine putting this out on your table, right? This is like a whole side right here. Also, you could also stuff something with this rice. You definitely could stuff something. I don't know what you're going to stuff, honey, but you could stuff something with this rice. After I was done mixing it all up, I still covered it, turned the stove off, and just allowed it to sit. And this is what it looks like once it was, you know, settled and nice and done. Look at that piece of bacon. It done survived all that liquid. Still crispy and still standing strong. The shrimp are still nice and plump because I added it at the end, which is why I suggested it. But I do know people are busy. They don't have time to be doing all of that. So, you know, just me giving you guys an option, just, you know. But this is what it looks like on a plate. The piece of bacon still hanging on. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you for your support and your patience. And if you make this recipe, tag me and let me know what you think. This is me making my homegirl, my best friend Diamond's plate. I added extra bacon because she's a bacon lover. And I'm gonna take it to her. But thank you guys. I'll catch you on my next video. Bye.